Welcome everybody, this week's edition of Geek Down. Joining us, our regularly scheduled cast, John David Rivera.
Hello, happy
Hanukkah.
Tuesday to y'all. Yeah, Hanukkah. Stupid.
We have Robert Avila.
It's me. Here.
Never gets
Why
better.
is his always the worst?
It never gets better. Really, man. It's the
You have a
actual
whole
worst.
week to think of your...
I didn't know I have to plan it out. I'm
Okay.
going literally off the top of my head.
Yeah,
right.
The top of your head is not very good.
Always procrastinating.
We're already off track.
And we have Adam Barajas.
Yes, sir.
There you go. And your host, Garfias.
Man, what a week.
What a week. Welcome. Well, let's start by prefacing this, that we are doing a little photography project this week.
That's right.
John David's the one that saw this and wanted to bring it into the Geek Down podcast. Go ahead and tell us what it is.
We are ripping off a Brazilian photographer this week by the name of Marcos Alberti. Yes, whatever. But he's doing this wine project. I saw this 3 glasses thing. One of the websites put it up. But he took a picture of people as soon as they walked into the studio. The fatigue of the day, work, kind of hanging heavy, and took a picture of them after 1 glass of wine, 2 glasses of wine, 3 glasses of wine. And what you see is this awesome series, a 4-photo series of each subject, going from just kind of to, and by the 4th photo, it's...
Why do they have to be
Well, they're just, you literally see, I'm sure he told them to just straight face and look kind of boring, but by the 4th photo, they're all having a good time. We are 2 glasses in. Gentlemen, we have poured our 3rd glass. Cheers to the Geek Down.
Cheers.
Cheers to
That's
Geek
brilliant.
Down.
Whoever
And
just
to-
burped, fuck you. That's disgusting.
And cheers to Marcos. Thank you for letting us rip off your idea. We'll be taking a photo.
And sharing it on our Facebook.
That's right. We'll be taking the last photo as soon as we finish this glass.
So if you want some wine to share with us while you're listening,
I do like
please pour it now.
I like that idea.
There you go. See, they can enjoy it just as much as we are.
That is very nice. Yes, photos we posted on Instagram and Facebook, and they'll probably end up being our profile photo for Geek Down. We've had some.
Oh, we should put one of each of us or something.
We've
That's
had some.
pretty nice.
We're gonna do like a
Yeah.
Brady Bunch style.
Yes, I concur.
But it's
agree.
gonna.
And that's Instagram at...
Instagram at Geek Down Podcast and Facebook.com/geekdown.
Thank you, John David.
There we go.
Our social media manager.
No, moving on.
Okay, thank you. Well, the first thing we definitely want to get to, this is too funny. We mentioned it last week. We had no idea that's the coincidence that would happen. One of our favorite channels that we have mentioned before is Every Frame a Painting. This guy named Tony Zhou. He actually did a video this week of his film essays called Music in the Marvel Symphonic. I just used to saying cinematic. Symphonic Universe.
We're falling apart.
What are you drunk?
Hey, this is what,
Junior.
this is what it gets, okay?
Sorry.
Music in the Marvel Symphonic Universe. And as we mentioned, he basically is just elaborating on exactly what we started talking about. How crazy is that?
Great minds.
What were we talking about, Chris?
What do you mean we're talking about? That it's not memorable. There's no... With the Batman, with Superman, with Spider-Man,
With the John Williams talk of last
the
week.
John Williams Star Wars, all these comic book and very nerdy movies that we love are very, very... there's a song in your head the second you think of that movie.
Main theme, or at least a main track that captures
Oh my gosh.
the essence of that whole
And
movie.
in this video, he mentions, of course, the Star Wars and also Harry Potter. And then he mentions the Marvel, and it's just silence. No one can think of anything. And that's exactly what we said last week.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like they're movies. These bland, shoot for safe type of movies that have no cultural impact
Adam
whatsoever.
Barajas, the DC
Just like their
colleges.
comics.
Though I don't agree with that. I think the movies are fine.
Yeah.
Most of them are fine.
Yes.
A few of them are pretty amazing in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But
A few of them, in his defense, are bad, but...
Oh,
okay.
definitely. But
The average is good, though.
Yes, the
no.
average Marvel movie is good.
Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, Captain America,
I
Civil
won't
War.
argue that the
Okay,
average Marvel
No,
movie
anyways,
is average.
my point is,
But
if the music was
music.
up there, how legendary would those films be? I mean, some of those moments
Yeah.
are already fantastic. If you put Hans Zimmer, or if you had John Williams, if you could.
I don't
picture-
understand
yeah,
how they
ideally.
don't have John Williams on this
Well,
stuff.
he's old.
He's
man.
old.
He's
Star
old, but I
Wars.
mean, but still, like, have him at least write the. He doesn't have to like be the conductor. He can still compose the music and have somebody else conduct for him. At least maybe even.
I mean,
supervise.
but even
I think I know
composing.
the answer to that though.
Oh,
He just
God.
has better taste in characters.
I think it might be a.
I don't know if that's really the answer.
Because if
Yeah.
in that argument, why did he do the prequel movies for Star Wars? Those were terrible.
And he's not doing Rogue One.
Yeah.
But that,
So-
but
But
that's,
that's they didn't even approach him for Rogue One.
I think they wanted
They
something
did- they-
different.
The
They
anthology
want-
series are supposed to be separate from the original, like the main.
If
They
anything,
said
you
that.
know what? I respect that because maybe someone will take. If anything, we've heard from the trailers, they're like little twists of the classic.
Yeah.
Well, let me
themes,
ask
you
this:
know?
could it be perhaps if John Williams did Iron Man? That'd be pretty amazing.
Yes.
But did they knew about the cinematic universe for a while? They know it was going to go into Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3. Did they not hire a big name composer because they wanted someone who would work with them across 10, 20 films, maybe even 30 films over the course of 20 years? Because they had a bigger plan in mind.
I don't know, but I mean, if you think
Yeah.
about the first, I mean, Iron Man, the first movie that blew up for the Marvel Universe, they use a lot of, like the
very sound-
other people's songs.
very
It's
soundtrack,
not.
yeah.
It's very soundtracky. Guardians of the Galaxy was
For sure. That's a whole nother.
was a whole
situation.
nother thing. Exactly. So they haven't necessarily put the focus on it, but it's sometimes to the detriment, as we now are looking back at it.
Well, let me ask Bobby and Garf: has the music in Marvel movies caused you to like the film less, or has it just been? It's never been a high point, but it's really.
Well,
No, go
Does
ahead.
it
Garth.
well, I was
be-
gonna
does it
say,
need
you
to
know
be
what? I
epic?
mean, in
So I'm.
I know. I mean, granted, the quality of the movies, like let's take for example, Civil War. Again, very fun movie. I loved it. It enhanced the characters, enhanced the scope of the story, raised the stakes, and put the characters in a new position on what's gonna happen next. And I loved it. However, having watched this video, I think it could benefit from having just like a main theme. Some of the best moments in any movie that I can think of are those moments where there's no words spoken and you just hear the music playing. And I think
So there's no reason for why not
Oh,
why not have the music?
I agree.
And
Why
that's what-
why
take it up to
not
another
take it
level.
up to a whole other tier? They're great, but why not push for that exactly?
And
what
I
you said, for
think
that
it's
next
something
step.
where you could almost reference, say, like Lord of the Rings,
Mm-hmm.
where you have the build-up of the Fellowship that Howard Shore does, and it comes to its full fruition once the Fellowship is finally formed, right? So why couldn't they do something obviously not exactly the same, but a similar concept or an idea with all these different? You had these main people that were going to be coming together that we all knew they're all heading towards that one point of being a team, and adding that together
Exactly.
would be
something that's being explored, Adam, with Justice League.
Well, Justice
Yeah.
League is the music. I mean, is definitely
On point.
on point.
Well, isn't that what I think Junkie XL is doing? Is that Batman and Wonder Woman? They're all gonna have specific themes, and they truly will match up in the Justice League movie. Is that something they've said?
They're creating, because they have Junkie XL and they've had Hans Zimmer. They have this idea of what, their heroes, what their sound is. So what they're doing is they're building a cohesive sound to all of their heroes that will come together in the Justice League. And Junkie XL is the one who's creating whether you like Junkie XL or not, he's creating a unified sound for all of the heroes to come together.
Well, to comment on Junkie XL, I didn't know with Mad Max, one of my favorite themes from that soundtrack was borrowed from Winter Soldier.
They straight up they ripped it off the temp music,
Yeah,
which
I
was
never
a big
knew that.
Which was a big part of this video from Every Frame
that
of
was really
Painting.
surprising to
Was
me.
that they attached this temp music during production and as the movie's building, and so it might be a year until a composer actually sees the movie and is able to actually just start working on the movie. And at that point, the director is so attached to that pairing of the temp music with their film they kind of just want something similar, because it is hard to break away from that in your mind after a year of working on that project.
And also to comment on what you were saying about with Lord of the Rings and certain themes, of characters being prevalent throughout the series, and John Williams being too old, to take a look at the Harry Potter series. John Williams was there for the first three, and then the rest, he wasn't there, but his main score was
it was like the template was set.
Exactly. So who's to say for Marvel, why don't they have, for these intro movies, someone like John Williams make the template, and then from there on, this is X hero's theme, and then they just kind of rework it in throughout the series.
Well, Disney and Marvel obviously have, they're obviously the same company. I mean, I'm sure they could go to John Williams, but I know Hans Zimmer has specifically said he's done with superhero movies. I'm sure John Williams says probably the same thing after working on so many blockbusters. Is it possible the composers just they're not inspired with so many superhero movies, at least 6 of them coming out every year? Would it be tough for a composer to bring something new to the table 6 times a year? I mean, I know it's a dumb question. It's art, but is it perhaps that we just haven't had the next best composer step up to the plate for these movies?
I mean, yeah, you could say that, like, they gave someone a chance and they didn't fulfill to this level that we've set for these grandiose characters. But you could also say, is that maybe what the directors wanted? Is that what they... there's so many things to it that...
Because Danny Elfman did work on the Avengers.
He did work on the Avengers. And obviously, he doesn't have final say. That's director, that's people that are above his pay grade that get to, have final say.
These guys are getting stifled by these producers. They want... I think it's a lot of it is where... If John Williams had the opportunity to write a theme for Iron Man, Wonder Woman, he's the best new movie composer ever. And I think he could, but they're probably, like Danny Elfman said in the video, they're challenged, and they know, if they said yes, but they're probably not going to be allowed their creative freedom, which is why they don't go for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's where the studio, the director, producers are putting the emphasis, and the music doesn't seem like it's the emphasis.
Yeah, they're making it not important, which it is. They say it's like, the way they're making movies now, they're kind of making it so that you forget about the music, which is, I think, almost a travesty, because
it says that. Yeah, it's just there's no trust in the audience, or it's just like, I don't
know if it's,
or maybe not trust,
in
terms
of
because that
we don't necessarily need to focus on
exactly.
music.
If it's for a different movie that wasn't a superhero movie, maybe you were like, I love that the music was very not like the main star, didn't overshadow anything. So I mean, it's kind of hard to say.
I think there's also just a trend of going away from like these large operatic scores. I think outside of Hans Zimmer, Silvestri, of course John Williams, there aren't really any film composers that are making these really memorable classical type of decisions with their... I mean, Junkie XL's driving a lot of his from, electronic music and drums and guitar. And his style almost reminds me of like that late 90s. Everything had a guitar riff. Like every action movie had a guitar riff. Everything sounded like Con Air.
Well, Mad Max didn't have a lot of guitar riffs. I mean, obviously there was that main guy.
It had that driving guitar.
But I didn't think it was too distracting and.
Well, okay. For example, let me pull up.
I'm not saying it's distracting. I'm just saying maybe it's also just a matter of trends. Maybe right now the trend is moving away from.
Well, let me ask you. Iron Man is definitely in the top. I mean, it's a top superhero movie.
Yeah.
Everyone. I mean, it's up there with Superman and with the original Batman. Did it need the music? I mean, the movie was successful.
Iron Man I like because it used AC/DC.
Yeah, AC/DC and Black Sabbath. I mean,
granted, it goes back to the same.
It fit. Whatever they did, it fit. And I can the same with Guardians of the Galaxy. How their whole music thing was.
It worked.
Yeah, it worked. Right. If it works in that theme, where if it's not necessarily orchestrated music, if it fits, I'm fine for it, which is why I say when you say, what's Iron Man's theme? Oh, it's just AC/DC fucking classic rock.
But that kind of goes with... But let me say... So, for example, for the 2016 Oscars, the nominees for Best Score were Carol, Star Wars, Sicario, Bridge of Spies, and Hateful Eight was the winner.
Which one?
Hateful Eight.
Okay, yeah.
Ennio Morricone.
Little wine burp right there. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, which was, I mean, that one was definitely a legacy. Like, I mean, he just...
That was a legacy.
Yeah.
A nomination.
I'm not saying that the music wasn't good, but
Sure.
that was definitely a legacy kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's one of those things, it's the movie choice, it's, you know, the way that style of movies are going at that time, so it's kind of hard to judge it. I mean, it's...
Yeah, I mean, back in what was like 2008 or 2009 when it was Trent Reznor getting a bunch of praise for The Social Network.
Yeah, that was great.
Like, yeah.
And that's very moody kind of stuff.
And then the next year you had Tron come out, and that album sold like crazy. It was a very good album by Daft Punk. So you had them move towards, you know, this more you know, artistic electronic music, you know, less instrumentals and whatnot.
But even still, those to argue for those, yes, they're less instrumental, but they're original, you know. And at the end of the day,
I agree.
At the end of the day, I think it's not so much, you know, the how difficult it is to make these things. They're seeing, oh, this music track was successful. Because of that, we're gonna try to use that and to help make another movie.
Is this a director problem or is this a studio problem?
I think it's a studio.
You're saying, see,
I'm thinking,
why would it be...
See, I'm thinking it's more... That's funny. I'm glad I asked it because I think it's more of a director thing.
See, I would disagree based on what we've heard from directors who worked for Marvel. That Marvel has a vision. You know, Marvel and Disney have this vision of what they want, and if you don't fit it, like Edgar Wright, you have original filmmakers that went to Marvel and then immediately said, "Fuck this, I'm out."
Well, that's true. But I feel like that's more with story, not in terms of, you know,
but part of a story
in terms of style, they still they took everything that Edgar Wright did. In terms of story, that's where Edgar Wright was saying, oh, I don't know about this Falcon scene in terms of that little cameo or stuff like that. It's stuff in the bigger Marvel universe. I think it's the story is the bigger thing for directors.
But this is
like, screenplay is not going to say, like, the type of music. I mean, that's, I would think, where a lot of the thing gets...
Though the exception being Guardians of the Galaxy, some of those songs were
built in
the screenplay.
Okay, but that's one
that being the exception.
Yes.
That's very true.
You know,
but because it's such a sanitized product, and they have made good movies, and I'm not just shitting
I like how it's like a asterisk for you.
Because it's such a sanitized product, because they're so safe, they don't take any risks. You're also seeing them hire safe, non-risk, you know, musicians that are, you know, these composers that you don't know because they don't take chances, they don't take risks. They're not highly original. They're not.
They know how to do a score, but doesn't mean they know people are going to listen to it.
Exactly. You know. Exactly. And I agree, Jay. I know what you're going with this as a director. Sometimes we were talking about this. You know, you and me. We edit videos. We attach a song to something. We grow attached to the way that certain song sounds, and then ends up being what the final product is. You know, just I like the song. Copy it. Put it in, and that there is, granted, you know, that is part of the process. You know, the directors have a say for that, but. Again, with what Am said, the studios, it's such a carbon process they want. They know what makes money. They know what's safe.
Especially
and they feed it to these directors, and then it gets pumped
out. I guess it starts with who you hire. Because even if you say you have your freedom, if you don't hire someone who's going to, you know, take that freedom and run, then...
We're speaking a lot of bad about Marvel, but in honesty, I wasn't thrilled with the BVS score.
Me neither.
And Suicide Squad. I mean, even the soundtrack just decisions for Suicide Squad were a little uninspired.
Well, they were trying to get
straight from 2004 and 5. You know,
but they were trying to do the whole Guardians of the Galaxy thing, trying to get the popular songs into it. And
well, I will say that though, that one song that was at the credit scene, at the end credits.
The Heathens.
That was a really good song. I like that song a lot.
Yeah, that's a good song.
That was a good song.
No, it matches. It bugs me that that's like one of the best parts of the movie. Is that song. It's like the credits and the...
Right.
Oh, okay.
What else we got, man?
All right, so unfortunately, we'll have to give one of our panelists some credit.
He called it.
As I called this section of our night, Adam was right.
Let's hope this doesn't become
for a couple things we'll give him credit. One, Suicide Squad has now earned over 700 million worldwide.
Oh, yes, so sweet.
What did you predict that it would make?
I don't even. First of all, I don't think this prediction was on the podcast in the first place.
It was.
No. What exactly? Because I remember
we talked about Guardians' run. and Guardians 1 was like 733.
In terms of it being a similar, like, you know, B kind of cast and storyline and a group, you know, movie.
I remember we were saying they were similar.
Yes.
And it's not. They beat it, but it's similar money.
It's fine. You can go ahead and you can pretend like you didn't say it.
Okay.
I'm saying, you know what, Adam? You know what, man? Because I'm giving you so much credit with the Deathstroke news that came out today. The official.
So the other thing is, Deathstroke. As
wait, I want to hear him praise me. Let's hear that.
As
you were right about Deathstroke. Move on.
As the rumor mill was going last week, Adam said it was true that Deathstroke not only was going to be in the next Batman movie, but that Joe Manganiello...
What is the exact pronunciation?
Mangello.
Are you sure?
Mangelo?
Yeah.
Mangello?
Mangello?
Mangina?
Joe Mangello.
Okay.
No?
Is someone in...
JD's doing the research. How do you... What is the pronunciation?
Oh, he's looking Joe Mangello without a shirt.
Well, no, so Joe Manganiello, he voices Fat Tony in The Simpsons.
Joe Manganiello.
Is that who we're talking
No, you're talking about Joe Montana.
Oh my god.
Get the fuck out of here.
Anyways.
Joe Montana was a quarterback, you idiot.
So, Adam was correct on both of those based on his evidence that he brought last week. So, Adam was right. And the last thing that we have with some DC news...
We'll have a specific air horn for Adam was right, by the way.
We could all do that on 3. 1, 2, 3, like Adam was right.
Do like a half air horn.
Adam was right. And the last thing, this is not really Adam was right, but this is really just more DC news, so we'll let Adam, take the lead that Jeff Johns had it was with Wall Street Journal.
Yes.
That he had an interview letter...
Basically calming the fears of DC fans everywhere.
And I will be calm when I actually see a good movie from DC in the last 7 years. But that's neither here nor there. So that's nice. That's a nice statement from...
When did The Dark Knight?
Dark Knight Rises came out less than 7 years ago.
Dark Knight?
It did. Because,
Fuck! Adam was right!
It was like 5 years ago. It was like 5 years ago.
But
So you were wrong, and Adam... was right.
The segment's the worst.
Would you like an echo for that?
We should have someone sing this.
That's what I'm saying. On 3, all of us.
1, 2.
Adam was right. Okay.
Church.
So one of the quotes that he said was, mistakenly in the past, he said, I think the studio had said
so badly
DC films are gritty and dark, and that what makes them different. But he said basically that couldn't be more wrong. Mm-hmm. And that it's a hopeful and optimistic view of life. Even Batman has a glimmer of that in him. Uh-huh. If he didn't think he'd make tomorrow better, he'd stop.
Well,
yes. Or he just murdered
the characters? Yes. But these last 2 movies? No. 3 movies?
What Jeff Johns is what he's saying, what he said in this interview is that
they're changing.
Things
are changing.
And if anyone understands the characters that DC Universe has,
this one.
It's Jeff Johns.
But basically he's saying that
Grant Morrison, but
Jeff had to be dark to then grow and become... light, to become hope, to become...
I'm fine with it being dark, just make it a fucking good movie.
Okay, well...
The night is darkest just before the dawn.
So they're 1 for 2. Because you admitted...
I liked...
That was
the
1 for 3. I did like Man of Steel. I liked Man of Steel.
Man of Steel was...
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot to
okay.
I was saying.
I liked Man... Okay. I think it was a little bit better than okay, but I enjoyed it. I did not enjoy Batman v Superman. I did not enjoy Suicide Squad.
That's fine. Man of Steel was a good movie, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Adam, you come around on BVS though, right?
Nope, not going to talk about that.
All right, so I guess that was off the record.
As I said when we talked, you scumbag motherfucker.
And that's enough of today's section of Adam was right.
Ichiban, more wine.
You hear that snake in the background? That's JD.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Snake in the grass.
No. You have to take it. Oh, fine.
Wait.
Yeah, wait for the picture. We have to do it because they're almost done.
Watch me.
Bobby's taking a glass of wine.
All right. Anyway, so we'll move on.
What else we got to go?
So some other news. One of during the iPhone 7 announcement.
So excited.
One of the surprises was an app, and not just any app, but a Nintendo app that Nintendo actually made. Was Super Mario Run.
Super Mario Run.
Thank you.
It is. It's the first app they've made.
They've actually created
Second since Pokemon Go in terms of the new direction that Nintendo has
with
decided.
the mobile.
We're gonna put our characters in these mobile games, and we're gonna. I mean, it sounds like a money-making genius idea.
This is gonna
buy
be
it.
not a freemium game, but a pay-to-play, one price. The game's yours. No more extra costs or anything like that.
Have they mentioned the price?
I do not. I believe they have not. But it's something they were very adamant about having it be a set price.
You know what, I'm glad about that too, because when they announced they're going to do these mobile platform games, my first thought and my immediate fear was Nintendo's going to go the way of EA, these microtransactions,
Sure,
freemium bullshit. I'll pay $15 if it's a good game for a phone game.
we talked about this.
I've said before, I'll
we
pay
talked
more.
about this a few weeks
Yeah,
ago,
yeah,
actually,
Pokemon Go.
which is
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's important for a variety. I'm sure Nintendo's probably going to end up having, whatever Mario Run's going to cost versus the Pokemon Go, which is free but pay to play. I could see maybe.
Do any of us play Pokemon Go anymore?
No. I
Well,
haven't played.
that's a whole. I don't do that because of the.
Other reasons.
I
We
do
already
it
discussed all that.
because it's a mediocre app. But
Yeah.
Anyways, back to the point.
Anyway.
whatever.
One of the things I did see when they were talking Nintendo was them being, the family company they are, was that they were to have the set price was parents didn't have to worry about their kids buying microtransactions and things like that. So it's Nintendo being Nintendo in that sense. But what do you guys think about the gameplay? I mean, you think it's something that is, maybe they're going to turn on their own Nintendo way and make it really unique?
Well,
I mean-
from what we've seen, the ingenuity of Mario was how simple it is. You're running and you're jumping, and that's it. You jump on a couple Goombas, and they've added the whole, wall jump scheme and everything in
That was
regards.
funny for some reason.
No, this is
Jumping a couple Goombas.
no, you are. That's what it is. And so I mean,
Goomba
and so,
here, Goomba there.
Goomba everywhere in your hair. But
this wine.
But
It's gone too far.
anyway, so I mean, the fact that they're making it simple, it's just tap to jump, longer taps for longer jumps. You can still wall jump, but it's more of like, I guess it's Temple Run, but side scroller and insert Mario, if that makes sense.
With these mobile games, I get the sense that it's not going to be about complexity.
Yeah.
I think it's about truly they're putting their characters on these little on this mobile platform, and if they were going to completely jump ship from the console and focus on their attention on the phone, I'd have a problem with it. But the fact that we're probably going to get the Nintendo NX and we're probably going to get a full version of Mario, as opposed to the Temple Run version of Mario, or we'll be getting both. I'm okay with that. That's totally fine. These games are going to exist.
I mean, I think it's more than just a knockoff from a straight runner game, because there's abundant runner games out there. I mean, you can go.
I actually haven't seen the footage from this Mario, so is it not?
No. Basically,
Oh my
have you
god!
seen?
Talk about not doing the research.
Well, I read all about it.
You giving me shit?
Oh my god!
Basically, it's like your average Mario, but you tap to jump. You hold the screen longer.
It's one hand.
Yeah,
It's a one-hand game.
You hold it longer for higher jumps. You tap again for Mario to do a little spin. So it's like the new Mario on the DS.
All I'm hearing is Temple Run though. Am I wrong
Well,
in terms of the simplicity?
That's what I said. That's exactly.
But it
what
is
I said.
okay. Well, I think that is one thing that Nintendo's always strive for is complexity and simplicity. Is that just because something's simple doesn't mean that it can't have layers to it. That just because
We've seen that with the Wii. We've seen that
just
with,
because
Troy.
everybody can play it doesn't mean hardcore people can't then take it to the next level. Because I think that's what Nintendo is. That's what they've done besides the family and being very inclusive and having all these emphasis on their first party games, is that they find complexity in simple things.
But where it's hurt them, and what JD had just said, which is actually could be very beneficial to them, is that they've tried, especially with the Wii years ago, they tried to make it very casual gamer-esque when that was really popular, and ended up hurting them in the long run because people were buying systems.
The first Wii wound up being one of the most
successful
No, no,
systems of
no,
all
no,
time.
no, no, it's
The
sold.
Wii U was what didn't work out well.
Oh, well, I'm saying it sold well. A lot of consoles and it sold a lot of games, but it didn't keep fans. And if people bought it, they liked it.
The Wii's problem. I think
It's too gimmicky.
I think the controller and the whole gyroscope thing, and the tennis, and it took the world by storm. It was a huge thing. No one can disagree with that. I think where they lost people was the graphics, was lack of online support. So I think Nintendo failed for those reasons.
And lack of great, a lot of first party and third party.
Third party. It's
I
not
agree.
first party.
Well, no, not lack of abundant first party. Because every time Nintendo delivers a first party game, it's great.
True.
But there's not enough of
game.
it.
No, I think it's third party.
If the Wii had online support, if the Wii had third party platforms, if the Wii had better graphics, the Wii would have been the greatest system in the history of video game history. I mean, there's no doubt about it. So I don't think the fact that they're trying things with touchpads and they're doing stuff with the Wiimote and all that, none of that's the problem. My problem is a million other things with Nintendo.
Well, back to what my point is. They're going towards the hardcore gamer. They're gonna still make their great first party content, hopefully with the NX. They're gonna try to get more third party content with the new NX. And now with these mobile games, that can strive for the whole casual gamer aspect. Whereas with their new system, they can really go for the core gamer group. They're diehard fans who are going to buy.
Well, see, for me, that's hard to say right now because we know so little about the NX.
I think we all hope you're right.
You're absolutely right.
We know,
but that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping with their jump into these mobile games, they can that's what they're throwing the casual stuff for. And right now that we can fuck around with that stuff, we can focus on all of our great and original, our fans who have stuck with us over the years. We can make that great for our next system and hopefully get some third-party support, which is what they really desperately fucking need.
Bob, I want to put you on the spot. Let me hear a pitch for the next Nintendo mobile game on Apple. I want to hear a pitch using.
We've got Pokemon.
We got
Mario.
I know what it would be right now.
Let's hear.
Go ahead, Adam. I'll jump Adam because Bobby got nothing.
Mario Kart. We got shit else. Mario Kart.
Oh shit.
Mario Kart?
No, but is it like a true Mario Kart game just on?
How do you do the controls on?
Just do what you do with the other race games. This. And then tap
is that what it is?
Yeah, just use the gyroscope and tap.
I can see
for
that.
all other race games.
I can see
Just basically like the Wii version, but on your phone.
How do you accelerate on a game like that?
It's just one set speed.
What about items?
really?
Use the items and everything.
You can pull back. There's like a brake button, but for the most part, it's just one set speed. Or you press the screen.
Oh man!
But give me Mario Kart.
It'd be game over if that was happening.
Yeah, Mario Kart would be great. Mario Kart would be great. I would say Mario Party. Mario Party would be interesting on
like a mini game that you could jump in really quick.
Yeah, just play
mini
game.
Tap and
Exactly.
slide
I would say Mario Party would be
that. I
Mario
can
would be
see
perfect.
that actually.
Mario
I
Party,
think that
WarioWare. That's all the same.
Why WarioWare or Mario Party?
I think those are both.
Yeah.
WarioWare, I could see something where you would then pass it to your friend, and then they would have to go and then they pass it back.
Is it heads up? Is like that?
Yeah. So you make it a group activity.
Exactly. Mario Party and Wario would be perfect. More than Mario Kart.
Because I think with Mario Kart is something where they've made good versions on the 3DS and stuff, and I don't know if they.
I think Mario Kart is a little too. It's simple, but it's also a little too.
Yeah. You know what they can do it
to where they make it on the phone. You know,
Mario Kart could be almost like a drag racing game, kind of what you said. It was like a set speed, and you can almost.
They have really good racers on iPhone. Mario Kart is more stripped down than these things.
You know what? I would love if they. You know what they recently with Sega. They're releasing Sega. They're releasing a new Sonic game.
It looks exactly like the old Sega.
But that's the whole point. They're making it like a harkening back to old school.
See, and I'll tell you, I have an issue with this, but go ahead.
Well, they're making it back to that
I think it's lazy.
The same thing like Capcom did with Mega Man 9 and Mega Man 10, where they made it purposely. I don't know. I mean,
That's why I have the same issue when. On a Wii U, a brand new Mario game for the Wii U, and it's a side-scrolling game, and I think it's totally weak.
No, because even with that new side-scrolling Mario game, they throw new features through 4-player co-op play or competitive play.
But the Sonic game's not like that.
It looks exactly like the games in the 90s. It looks like it plays exactly like the games in the 90s. I don't see what the difference is.
Well, the
What's
difference.
the real difference?
The difference is
it's nostalgia.
Well,
That's what they're
this
selling.
one game is it features remastered versions of Sonic
Virgins.
1.
So, okay.
Virgins. Different versions.
Okay, so you haven't impressed me yet. Go ahead.
They're
Continue.
remastered versions of Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and Sonic 3.
So
and
basically
Knuckles.
just virtual console
And then
games.
there's a new original game that's based off of the old style of Genesis games and Sega CD of Sonic, but they have also made it, I guess, more HD. The animation is more fluid. But the thing is, what a lot of people have liked about the old Sonic games is the fluidity, the speed.
Yes, I understand.
And the what was it? The physics of the game, where if like you're traveling at a certain speed and you jump at that speed, you're still going to be traveling at that speed. A lot of new games of Sonic, you'll be fucking running around at the speed of sound. Got places to go, got to follow my rainbow, and you jump in the you jump in the air, and all of a sudden your whole momentum is gone, and it made no sense. So this is again, with these types of games, they don't charge from what I've seen because they did that with Mega Man. They never charge the full price of a game. It's like this is a new Mega Man game. We're harkening back to old school, but we're charging you $10. It's not it's not $50 for this game. It's just for fun, getting the old school feel to it.
I'd rather get a full brand new game.
You know
for
what?
the full price.
Right now, Nintendo remake Mario 64 for iPhone remastered, and I will pay $35.
Oh no, you would be able to play that.
You would
on
pay
iPhone.
you would pay $30
this-
for the same game that you played on a phone version.
Yeah,
something that
because-
you're.
Because
They already
this
did that.
thing this thing is more powerful than the N64.
There's no doubt, but it also could do more than that, and you could actually get a
Well,
newer.
give me a game
new levels.
like Mario 64.
Okay, but let me
Fine.
about this about
what
Sega
don't
and stuff.
you like about it? Yeah.
Was okay. One, it's just you said okay. It has a remaster of the old levels. Okay, if you're selling me a remaster, I understand and I know what I'm getting. But if you're doing the remaster and then new levels where it's the improved physics and it's the same game. It's just an improved version.
Well, that's why.
And that's the problem. That's what happened with Sonic over the years, is that they were never able to figure out what's the next step. They would try something, it wouldn't work. They would try something else, it wouldn't work. They would try something, it has some promise, didn't work. And that's why Sonic fell off. That's why Sega fell off, because they're with their prominent main character, they were never able to figure out what that next step was.
Right.
With Mario, they made that jump to Super Mario 64 and it blew everybody away. They then did it again and again and again, and they've been able to keep evolving him, but yet still keep the core of what is Mario. And that's why he's exists and why he's as big as he is now,
Exactly.
as he was in 1980s. Because
you're absolutely right. And in regards to just the brilliance of Nintendo, and then even Mario games on its own, because of the fact that it's at a slower pace than Sonic, it was easier to make that transition into 3D. But also Nintendo they're great video game developers, and they're smart enough to do that. Whereas Sega, not only do they have the difficulty of bringing Sonic into a 3D realm where you're traveling fucking fast, how do you slow it down? And they've had a lot of problem with camera works. But again, they're trying. The whole point isn't to make like a new game. It's just for fun, harkening back to the old school feel, because they're also making another new 3D Sonic game that's like Sonic Generations, which is actually my favorite 3D Sonic game. But
I don't think the demand really for new Mario or new Sonic, or I think when you're on your phone, you realize that there's going to be a lack of haptic feedback without a controller, without some of the buttons. So I don't need a brand new Mario, a side-scrolling Mario. I don't need I'm looking forward to the new one, but it's not like I need it now. I can just hook up my Super Nintendo. Well, I will get it because it'll give me my nostalgic, boost on my phone.
No,
when I'm able to move around.
I agree. My thing with Nintendo is, if they're going to do that for the phones, I want them to really step up their game for the console versions.
Yeah,
that's
and
all
that's
I'm saying.
something.
I want a balance. I have no problem with the nostalgia. I have no problem with Mario Temple runs.
Simple, but exactly save the great games for the console.
Let me get a true sequel to Mario 64.
I agree.
Reports are in October we will get a lot more information regarding the NX, and hopefully
we will talk about that.
We will get to talk about it because we unlike a lot of people, still play the Nintendo Wii U.
Granted, it's
I'm the
Mario
one that
Kart
doesn't.
and Smash Brothers.
And Smash Brothers, but
We use okay. We only play Mario Kart and Smash.
But we still use it, and that's a lot more than a lot of other people can say.
Still use
Granted, those games are fucking amazing.
Okay, but
I
that's
hate myself.
okay.
Nintendo, give us free stuff.
Okay, sounds good.
What are you talking about?
Anyway, next topic.
All right. Thank you for that transition. It was beautiful. So last week, John David gave us a little review of his concert-going experience with artist of Childish Gambino.
That's right. Do you want to hear it again?
No!
Okay.
But...
That sounded a lot like your Kevin Hart impression. Can we hear that?
Here's the thing. Pow! Oh my god, no!
That was a... Okay, back to the regularly scheduled program.
Is Adam Sandler gonna be
Adam Sandler meeting JFK.
I'm not gonna.
Too much.
It's off. Come on.
All right.
Moving on.
I feel like our audience is gonna be disappointed when they don't hear that.
No. I'm with them.
Adam, you put me on the spot. Finish your wine, Adam. Come on, we're all waiting on you, man.
Yeah,
Come
seriously,
on.
what's
Come
going
on.
on?
Jesus Christ, man.
I'm already in my fourth class. What is this?
Well, when you don't have to do homework.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, so
Finish your wine.
that man, Childish Gambino,
That's
also
right.
AKA Donald Glover,
That's right.
came out with a new show on FX called Atlanta.
Don Glover?
Donald Glover, comedian, actor,
John Manganiello.
show creator,
Writer, Renaissance man.
Renaissance man. Came out with a new show, Atlanta, which they premiered last week. They actually did 2 episodes to start the series. And me, Bobby, and John David watched it.
They've been talking about the show for years, since he stopped Community.
For years?
They've been talking. Well,
Really?
he's had a deal with FX for a while.
Really?
We knew he was going to be developing a new show. We knew it was going to be in Atlanta about a rapper. And then word came out probably in February or March about the early word on the show. And the show delivered. We saw the 2 episodes, and it's very artistic. It's very stylish show. It's in the same vein of Louis and Masters of None, but I actually think it takes it to a whole nother level. I think it's really well done. Bobby, you watched it with us as well.
Yeah. I liked it a lot. Prior to the episodes that we watched, I was watching this commentary on comedy of British comedy versus American comedy. And they were talking about how with American comedy, the main character is usually very witty, very smart, can get out of any situation using his wit, very likable. Whereas compared to British comedy, which a lot more American sitcoms like with Louis and Masters of None and this show are going towards with British comedy,
The Office.
The Office.
The Office is
exactly,
obvious,
the obvious one. Their comedy is more of the main character is down on his luck, and no matter what, life is just constantly keeps shitting on him, and they can't get out of it. And you find the comedy in reality and just how you can't get out of just difficult situations. And Atlanta seems to be going on that route, which was nice because again, it's our main character. For those who haven't seen the show, spoiler alert, is down on his luck, out of money, has a crappy job, he's in a relationship with a girl and he has a kid, but he's trying to get into the rap business. But again, he in the first episode he gets arrested, all the shit keeps happening, but he just can't get out of it. But there's reality in and shit things that happen.
And I'll say this, it's not a comedy. I don't think it's a comedy show.
In terms of the Emmys or in terms of how they group it, I'm sure FX lists it as a comedy, or I would imagine so that's how they would list it.
Yes,
but
it's not a straight it's not at all.
Yes, it's not a straight.
No, it's not.
It's not a straight comedy.
Parks and Recreation.
It's not exactly, and I think that's
no.
what is that there's been a trend of shows that aren't so just this is a comedy show, this is a drama. There's no intersecting, and that's been, I think, a trend in TV in general. Like you mentioned, other shows like Louis and Masters of None that we all love, that they really have been trying to kind of get to something that's a little more real, a little more integrated, that nothing's always fun and nothing's always drama.
Exactly.
That life and what we find funny isn't always just like, oh, let me make a joke, ha ha ha, let me make a joke, ha ha ha. That it can be in these little things and little moments.
That being said, I do think the TV world is, or I mean, we're in the middle of a golden age, and it is balanced because I mean, we'll agree to disagree. I do think
golden age.
In terms of we have the straight comedies, we have the the 30-minute. In terms
what's right now you think is a straight comedy?
In terms of like Parks and Rec, there's
that's out right now.
All right now.
I can't think of it right now.
Exactly.
I'm not watching a lot.
But I'll say that it's
Parks and Rec. We're a year off from Parks and Rec, or like in terms
of a year ago. Wow.
That's only a year. Yeah,
really?
I think so. Yeah.
Parks and Rec has been within.
I think a year and a half ago. Yeah. But still very recent.
But in terms of we're able to have the straight comedies, we're able to have the straight dramas like Breaking Bad or Narcos, and then there is the middle ground where it's like the Louis and the Masters of None and Atlanta, where you get a little bit of both, and
Ballers.
Oh, I haven't seen Ballers. You've been telling me
You've been
telling me for a minute, man.
It is, but it's not. You wouldn't say that's a straight just like comedy show.
I just threw it in with the shows.
Well, there are these shows that find
in terms of the
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But that's what in terms of straight comedy shows, there's not too many that are very prominent now. I mean.
Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory is the last big one.
That's the last traditional comedy with a laugh track.
And the sitcom, like that.
Because a lot of shows have moved away from that. You got even with Parks and Rec. Yes, it was straight comedy, but it was more of like The Office. Not found footage, but these documentary series. Single camera, following like the jokes, tell them something there. It's not telling you when to laugh. Which after watching all these shows from the '90s, now they really tell you when to laugh with the laugh track.
Have you ever seen that clip on YouTube of the Big Bang Theory without the laugh track?
And then is it terrible?
Every joke hits like an abortion. It's
God.
Awful.
Well, see, it's like you grow. I've grown away from that because it's like I don't want to be told when to laugh. I'm smart. I can know when the joke is.
I'll say this.
I still see a good a place for it because there are some shows like I still watch early. 2.5 Men, and they make me genuinely laugh.
Oh yes.
And like if you had quality,
very early,
if you had quality sitcoms, then
they have their place, and it's not to say that just because a show has a soundtrack, it's not funny or anything like that. There's plenty of shows that have definitely had amazing humor, amazing jokes that have had a laugh track.
There's room. I mean, with so many channels. I mean, that's a very '90s thought. 100 channels. Now we have Netflix and on demand and streaming and all that. I mean, there's room for everything. There's room for every different type of television show that's ever been created, and
I think most of the straight comedies have been taken over by animation. And we want to do an episode where we talk about animation.
We definitely have
Archer, Family Guy.
Oh my God, Rick and Morty,
Rick and Morty is
fantastic. Those are your comedies right there. And you're right. I think we do have to talk about animation coming up soon. That's a dedicated episode.
Going back Futurama,
I think so.
G-Funk, man. What do we got next, man?
Don't even give me anything. Futurama, and we'll get going. I love it. All right. We actually said this on the podcast last week. Hey.
Pound?
This is what happened.
Wait, time out. Adam, please.
God damn it.
I blame John David for any verbal mistakes.
This is
linguistic.
The first official intoxicated episode of the Geek Down.
Yeah.
And it's been pretty good. I think it's been solid.
I feel
Oh, you finished? Oh, good. Guys, let's take a little photo break. We'll take some photos right now.
This is great. Podcast.
We'll probably edit this out. I will insert
breaking our no edit rule.
No. Well, that's fine. Well,
you actually did edit a little bit, just a tiny bit last week, didn't you?
No, actually.
Then you cut the very beginning part.
I cut the beginning when you said restart. I gotta start over. Give me a quick break. I'll insert some air horns in here, and by the time the air horns are done, we will have taken our photos and we'll have a new glass of wine. All right, guys. See you in a second.
And we're back from taking our pictures. Look forward to this project that John David will put together.
We'll have some photos
of the members.
Cheers, guys.
Of the Geek Down podcast, with being stone cold sober all the way up to 3 glasses of wine.
It's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. The pictures look amazing already. Garf, what do we got on the agenda,
so one of the things that we had said last week on the podcast that Adam put out there in the world so that we were held accountable was.
Should we do one more Adam is Right together?
No, we're not.
No, this has nothing to do with
No,
Adam's right.
no.
This is
I
just
just
Adam
like
was trying to
hearing
make us accountable.
It's like hearing it.
No.
This
No.
is more like finally, Bobby. That's more what
Yeah.
this segment
Seriously.
is.
So
Wait a minute.
Well, that-
he said
more information.
Adam put out there that we would watch and talk about The Godfather.
We've talked about this for weeks, by the way.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, the classic, movie we said we're gonna get to that pretty early. We just really haven't. But anyways, now we have, and we will, and we have all watched it now.
We're supposed to watch 1 and 2. But
1 and 2,
I
you're
thought-
right.
I
Someone didn't do their homework.
I thought it was just one.
No, he said 1 and 2. Don't lie, Bobby.
Bobby,
I don't remember. It was just one.
Bobby,
By the way,
being the actor here.
This podcast takes place in Los Angeles. For those who don't know, Bobby is an actor in Los Angeles, and Bobby is an actor who has never seen Godfather 1 and 2.
Shameful.
Do you realize how many movies
Shame.
there are? How many
Shame.
movies in the world?
Shame.
I can't watch them all. I'm
So-
sorry.
I'm sorry, Oscar winners.
This is it's one of the greatest movies of all time, dude.
I watched.
It's not a random movie.
What do you want?
It's arguably the greatest movie.
I watched it.
Bobby watched it 2 hours before the podcast.
On an iPad.
Bobby watched it on an iPad.
While saying fuck you to Francis Ford Coppola.
God, the worst.
Okay,
But,
so
all
Bobby,
right.
Bobby.
Bobby, how'd you like the movie?
I
Oh, God.
no, I loved it. It was great. I was briefly talking to Garf about it when I was taking a break during the movie because it is 3 hours long. I did not know that. Was that it really, the scope of the movie, it really helped make the viewer part of everything going on. There was the way I felt like the way everything was shot. Not only were there very long takes, which made it feel like I was watching a theater show. And growing up in theater or doing theater, I loved those scenes, those types of shots. But it seemed like one of the scenes when they're talking about, spoiler alert, when they're
Not a movie that's
when they're talking to Michael Al Pacino's character.
Just do the
No, just spoiler.
Just continue, please.
You don't have to say Al Pacino's character, just say Michael.
Michael.
Everyone else in the world has seen
Michael Al Pacino's character, just in
Michael
case.
Corleone.
Just in case. So they're talking about what he's going to do in regards to going to the restaurant. They're going to plant the gun for him, but they plant the camera on the corner of a table and they keep it there. And they're all talking. One of the members gets up.
The phone rings.
The phone rings. He goes up. He answers the phone.
And you see him the whole time.
There's no cut to other characters, what their faces are. And it goes back. He gives them the news. Oh, we're going to go along with the plan. But what I saw was there was like an empty spot on this corner of the table where the camera was. And to me, it really felt like I was like a member of this family just sitting there along for the ride, seeing what was going to happen. That was one of the few aspects of what I really liked about this movie.
And continue on that. I would say the beginning with the wedding, it totally does the same thing because it makes you feel that Italian family vibe and the warmth and the welcoming and just the celebratory nature of that day, and it really gets you in it.
The length of that scene, the fact that you're outside and then they pull you inside into
And you already start to see those contrasting family and business
truly
parts of their life, which is a big theme in these movies. This dichotomy between the same person, how they can have such a different attitude in life. But in the scene they have it where they're singing the Italian song, and they stay on that so much longer than anybody in this time would stay on that. And an Italian song, them singing, and you just getting that feeling of being there and understanding this family. And
if that scene was 25%, 50% shorter, I don't think it evokes the same
wouldn't.
emotion.
And it gets you
drops you in there
to feel like you understand this family and their interactions. And I mean, there's just so much that is beautiful about this movie.
It's the most perfect turn for a character, the most perfect evolution of a character on screen that I've ever seen.
Oh, 100%.
When Michael,
Yeah,
when you see Michael at the beginning of the movie, he's wearing his fatigues. He's in army uniform. He's an army war hero.
He makes the
World War
distinction.
II. Yeah.
He doesn't want.
That's my family.
Anything to do with the family.
That's my family. It's not me.
He's more well spoken and articulate than Sonny or Fredo. He's got that calm demeanor. You see it early of his father, but his fall or rise to the most powerful man in the mafia, the American mafia, and the change from this mild-mannered war hero patriot to this ruthless mob boss, killing every other family in the
So badass.
Yeah, that final scene.
Is that one of the
so
best
iconic.
scenes in
I
cinema?
I was watching. I'm going. This guy is going to fuck over everyone.
Michael,
and I was happy about it, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like again, but what's great about that turn is the establishment of family. With no matter what character it is, family is the most important fucking thing in this movie. That's one of the first phrases that the Godfather says. He's like a man. What does he say? Is that a man who doesn't
spend
support
time with his family
is not a man. He
is
doesn't
not a
trust.
man.
You know,
Is not a man at all.
The relationship
and that's
with his
the
father.
main theme of this whole movie. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
The relationship with his father is, his turn is precipitated by 2 assassination attempts.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you see the first assassination attempt. You see him come back to his family. He leaves the safety of Kate and nice Manhattan and goes to his family in their bunker to start talking about what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he goes to visit his father, and there's another assassination attempt, and he's injured and his jaw's broken by the Captain McCluskey. When you have that's like when he realizes he doesn't shake. When he realizes he's completely calm at the fact that there are people coming to kill his dad, but he's there and he's not scared.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's almost like a reverse of St. Peter and Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when St. Peter denies him 3 times, you know, the 3rd time, Michael didn't deny his father. The 3rd time, he gets revenge and he kills.
Oh, that
And-
is
no,
wow! I
yeah,
like that,
yeah.
Adam. That was
And you know,
good.
that was really good. That was
Wow.
awesome. You know what I also liked was when his dad, the Godfather, makes peace with all the other mob bosses.
You're the worst.
his dad, the Godfather.
Vito Corleone.
Jesus
The
Christ.
Godfather, he makes peace.
I know.
You're
makes
such a
peace.
rookie.
That's rough.
He makes peace
This is rough.
with all the
families.
mob bosses. And he's like, you know what? I promise I won't break the peace. But as soon as he's dead and he's done following that, his son is like, fuck that. I didn't make any promises to you guys, and just goes on just fucking taking control, taking out all
It's
these
a
mob
perfect story
bosses.
because at that point in the story you think, wow, they've lost so much power. They're no longer the most powerful family. They're might be number 4 in terms of powerful families in the area.
5.
In terms of like the power that that they possess amongst the 5. But holy shit, man, does he come back? And what I like about a movie that's this long and is so detailed. 1 second, we're having some issues with sound. It like reverbed me like 3 times. Okay. Hello, test. Speak on.
Test.
Hello.
We good?
Speak, Garf.
How are you doing tonight?
Okay, let me pause this.
That was good, Adam.
Speak.
That was good. I was like, oh,
That was great.
damn.
All right, we're good.
Good. Right.
What I like about a movie that's as
Perfect.
long as it is, and the director still trusts the audience.
Mm-hmm.
There's the moment where in Sicily when Michael's wife,
Apollonia.
Oh.
Smoke show, by the way.
one of the hottest.
Ooh.
But
Dude, she is-
When they first see each other was a great moment.
That look
Beautiful.
she
When they
gives.
explain it, it's like a thunderbolt fucking hits you.
Oh my god, that is 100%.
In a movie with so much death, is there not a scene that encapsulates that love at first sight and just that passion and that
Oh my
the
god.
romance? But
And then
beside-
taken away in the same instant.
exactly, which is so great, and they take it away.
And what do they say about Italian women?
They're nothing but drama.
Oh,
No,
they're more dangerous than shotguns.
Yeah.
They're more dangerous than
Yeah.
shotguns.
Nothing but drama.
Oh.
No, it's one of the lines. I knew it. I'm sorry.
Well, now, my point is,
Just saw the movie.
my point is, other movies might linger on Michael after the car explodes, and you might see, that how he's torn up. But the next time you see Michael, he's in America, and he's trying to get his old squeeze back. And you have to kind of make a jump in your mind. Oh my God, he's seen so much shit, and he's been affected by his family and his love life, and he's traveled worldwide, And man, he is this family. He is the next Godfather. And then to see him step up to the plate, there's a lot of trust that you have to have in the audience as a director. And man,
The
he
relationship
delivers, man.
the relationships between Kate and Apollonia as well are so just amazingly done. When he first sees Apollonia, she's this stunning Sicilian woman who's grown up in mob-controlled Sicily. So she knows what the life is. She understands it.
I mean,
she's
she
totally
meets
comfortable
Michael
with him.
with 2 bodyguards that have
Exactly.
fucking
Gun,
guns.
AK-47s or whatever.
Like she
yeah.
knows.
Yeah.
Yeah,
God
okay.
damn it, dude.
Damn it! Just stop! Just
What?
stop!
They're guns!
So
Stop!
when you see that
Jamie's
and you
face
realize
the disappointment I
It's
have.
pure.
you realize Michael has
God.
accepted that he is now in the mafia world for good, but he's also accepting of his heritage of his family's history, and Apollonia represents this connection to Sicily that he hadn't had
The
before.
start, yeah.
And when he loses that, it you can tell it's devastating. And then the relationship with Kate, he tells her the truth. He tells her the truth, and it's not till the very end when he realizes that she's not like Apollonia that he finally lies to her, and she catches him in that lie, and it's the first time that we see him lie to her in the
Don't ever
movie.
ask me about my business, Kate.
And it's
And then that's one of my favorite shots in the movie when he's like, they hug, they embrace, and she's like, let's get a drink. She walks out of the room, she goes to pour him a drink. He's still in the room at his desk, and then his advisors come, they
And the
kiss him
door.
on the hand, and they slowly close the door on her, just like, you mean fucking nothing. This is
Yep.
all.
I mean, I don't think it's meaningful. It's just
But it's part
the
of the
separation
business.
of
It's
the
sep-
worlds.
Exactly,
Bobby.
yeah.
Oh, Bob.
well, it's his recognition that she is not, she is foreign to his world.
She's not of the world,
Right.
of this world. Yes.
So he can't tell her the truth. He does love her, but he can't tell her the truth. He can't be the way he was with Apollonia with Kate because she won't accept it because she doesn't understand.
Apollonia actually had one of my favorite jokes when she's like, "Oh, I can speak English Monday,
Tuesday,
Tuesday,
Wednesday,
Thursday,
oh,
Friday,
that was-
Sunday, Saturday." It just makes it.
That was so
I was like, oh,
good.
That's funny. That's
It was
cute.
so good. And you know what? I'll say this regarding Godfather 2. Because we've all seen Godfather 2, bar Bobby. When you see Godfather 1, it's so perfect.
Yeah.
When you, like...
If it ended at Godfather 1, Godfather 1 I believe is a perfect movie, but man, Godfather 2,
It's so perfect because it's like...
it complements
It's
it.
Amazingly.
It just goes back into each other so amazing, and then when you see Godfather 2, all of a sudden things in Godfather 1 make even more sense, and they just...
And De Niro is masterful in Godfather 2.
Oh, truly.
Just he's as good at portraying Vito Corleone as Marlon Brando was.
Yeah.
It's funny because he was originally supposed to play Sonny. He screen tested for Sonny, and Francis Ford Coppola thought that his character was too intimidating and too dangerous, even for the character of Sonny.
I believe it. I believe
The dichotomy and the growth that you see of Vito when he comes to America and becomes the Godfather, and then eventually goes back to Sicily to inherit, his lineage. It's just amazing, and they balance that with Michael's story. And
So Adam, let me tell you, are we going to put it on the record, on the podcast? What are we going to talk about next week?
animation, we're gonna do it.
Oh, what about, I thought you were going to say Godfather 2!
I mean, we've discussed
Okay.
Godfather 2 a little
Okay.
bit here, and
We can go into more detail.
We're doing the animation?
let's do animation. Let's finish talking about Godfather 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you can watch Godfather 2. And we've
I
all
think
we've
let's
all
keep
talked
it fresh.
about yeah,
That's
exactly.
together.
But we've all talked about wanting to do animation because it's touched our lives in such a way. We're all of the age where really our sitcoms were Simpsons and Futurama.
Oh, I love
and Family
Well, we
Guy.
grew up in the '90s. That was
Simpsons,
called the
exactly.
Classic.
cartoon renaissance.
Yeah, and we had.
So are we just going to focus on animation in general? Or
No,
more
well,
adult animation? Or
we can talk about it all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't hold us to
One-
it.
one
Yeah.
of the-
I think
We'll
what the
figure
greater
this
thing we'll
out.
talk about is how it impacted us and
Yes,
what
definitely.
we grew up with.
On the Geek Down, we're going to talk about things passionately, from
Oof.
the heart.
Oof.
Constant. Come on, guys.
Oof.
Unless you're Bobby, then you're not going to really have an opinion on anything.
What the fuck is going on? Criminy shit.
Cheers, guys, to another great podcast. Oh, what a day.
Should we do some shout outs for our new
You know
Yeah, I would
what?
love to hear
That
some shout-outs,
sounds like
man.
a great idea. We had plenty of people who decided to like us this week. Let's see, we had Carson Leach, thank you very much for liking us.
What's up,
Gabe
Carson?
Todd, how you doing? Luis Hernandez.
What's up, Luis?
Aubrey Weaver. Let's see if I get this name right. Jocelyn DeWord. I'm sorry, Jocelyn DeWord.
I love how you had problems with both first and last names. It's Jocelyn.
Don Lenz de la Davis. Thank you very much. Christina Cox.
Christina Cox.
Woo!
And what about Richard?
Richard Cooper.
Christina Cox and Dick Cooper.
Richard Cooper. Music and creator, Coop Music 24/7. Thank you for liking us.
Yes.
Some of these are good friends, man. They're good guys.
And some of them, tell your friends, listen up, tell them about the Geek Down. We're here.
And thank you for listening from the start, because we love doing this, and we want to bring you guys the best stuff every week.
Fuck
So
yeah.
we will try and do that.
We're trying to bring you some nice, good entertainment, some laughs.
Uncensored.
Of course.
And Scold and Bobby. We should just have a Scold and Bobby segment.
That will be something.
Finally, Bobby. I like that last
See,
segment.
these segments started to come together. Adam was right. That I don't know if I like that one, but it's a segment.
Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah, well, I mean, he has to be right for us to say Adam was right, so...
It'll be special whenever it happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I say one more thing really quick about the Godfather?
No, you
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Really quick about
Go
the
ahead.
Godfather.
You know, because it's not every day that you meet someone who's never seen one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah, let it simmer.
Two things that I didn't like about the Godfather.
Okay,
Oh,
I would
go ahead.
love to hear this.
Two things.
Oh, God.
They're very minor. One, I think there was when after the guy he beat up the wife, and he goes and confronts him in the streets.
Yeah.
Like one of the fight scenes, like you could see like the punches missing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But
yeah.
but again, it was one of those things like I threw that out because like again it's the time of the movie.
Yeah.
Number two, when he's with Apollonia
Yeah.
and they're alone. She takes off her shirt, and her nipples blend with her boob. It's like one thing. It doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry, Apollonia, that your nipples are not to Bobby's
Bobby!
liking.
Apollonia, I'm sorry that Bobby watched that scene on an iPad.
And James
First of all,
Her
she is a
nipples-
very attractive woman. How
Her
dare
nipples
you?
did not. They were the same tone as the rest of her boob.
Oh
and
my-
it
okay.
It was.
Hold on.
It was
James-
off-putting.
James
It was
Caan, I'd like
off-
you to know that Bobby doesn't think you're a great actor. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
When did I say that?
Bobby, that's enough.
What?
I don't want to hear any more from you. You're done.
Is there a classic movie that we haven't watched, each of us? Is there something that we just
Oh,
we
I don't know.
just
That's something we
haven't-
might have to come up with. I don't.
Yeah.
I can't
Let's
think
talk
of-
about it now.
Well,
Gone
fuck,
with
the
the
fact that you never saw fucking... You've never seen Gone with the Wind either?
What the fuck? What's wrong with you?
You're an actor.
Okay, let me
too.
say this. I don't know if I've seen it from beginning to end.
You probably have. It's one of those... dude, I know you've seen
Only
the classic
only
movies.
troglodytes haven't seen Gone with the Wind.
Okay, first of all, I don't know what that means.
Troglodytes?
Look it up, viewers.
You know what that means?
Listeners, I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna look it
You
up
made
with
it
them.
seem like you did, though.
No, I'm gonna look it up with them.
Oh, viewers, go ahead and look that up.
So much shit talk.
I gotta say, I've never seen the original Ben-Hur.
Me neither.
Wow, really? That's pretty epic. They should not have redone it.
No.
I saw it.
There
You
was
saw
no
it?
reason.
Yeah, I did.
How bad was it?
Really bad. One, Jesus was Mexican for whatever reason.
What's wrong with Jesus being Mexican?
Nothing wrong with Jesus being Mexican, being a Mexican man myself. The problem I have with it is Jesus spoke ancient Aramaic. He didn't have a thick Spanish accent. It's a little, it's a little distracting. And then the other thing is, why was Jesus in the first place? I don't think he was in the Ben-Hur movies.
Well,
I
no,
never saw
because
the original.
I will say
Did
this.
Mel
I will,
Gibson
hold on,
direct this
I will
one?
get you this. This Ben-Hur was based more on the book than the original Ben-Hur movie with Charlton Heston was. That one kind of didn't really go with the book. It was like a loose, like, okay, we're just going to do what we want, but it's, we're taking it from Ben-Hur. This one was based more on the actual book.
I gotta say, if it was a movie on like Lifetime or ABC, I'd be like, that's a really good fucking movie. But because it was a studio picture, I was
Spent
like,
a lot of money.
It just looked like a mess.
and Morgan Freeman
Well,
looked
it looked like-
retarded.
Morgan, that's honestly, I saw the trailer. I was like, "Huh, this is interesting. This is interesting."
And there's
what
Morgan
the
Freeman.
fuck is Morgan Freeman? What the? Okay, I'm definitely not watching this.
Like I know he plays like an Ethiopian, but there wasn't a guy that fit the character more than Morgan Freeman with dreadlocks for whatever reason. It's just strange.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Yeah,
totally.
definitely.
It's like
was
dim
not.
sum whomshu wasn't available.
Oh my god.
All right.
Oh my god.
Hey, no, that's our real name. What the fuck? That's the actor from Blood Diamond, you racist.
Man, we made up names.
Thanks, Gladiator.
I love how
I made up no names.
We made up names in the shoutouts. Adam made up names in Ben Hur.
You realize you're
Dim
being
sum.
Hunshu. Yeah. No.
No.
Let
Let me tell you, you guys are wrong. I'm right.
Hold on, because we're about to do another.
Oh, God.
Adam was right.
Oh no, we didn't say you're wrong. We just said you're racist.
Yeah, and we
You're racist.
What is it? What's the name?
A lack of people caring.
Just look up the guy. I don't know how to spell
What's
it.
the name?
Dim sum humsu.
Dim
It's from
sum humsum
humsu. Hunsu.
We're getting shut down immediately.
We're not. No, look up Blood Diamond.
Okay, I typed in dim sum humsu.
Jim
And it said
on
this
restaurant.
is guy to dim sum.
Suck my dick. Jimon or Dimshon or
You did not say it correctly.
Jimon. Dimson or Jimon. I don't know.
No, it's not dim sum.
I typed Blood Diamond and it came up every kiss begins with K. I don't know.
End the podcast. End it now.
No, because Adam was right. Here he is, right here.
Does Google say the or Siri
How would you
say
pronounce it?
Oh, God.
Digimon?
Digimon? Digital monsters?
Hunsu.
Dimon Hunsu.
That's what I said. Hunsu.
No, that's
No,
not.
that
You
is
said,
not what
I said
you
Hunsu.
you said dim sum.
It's not dim sum.
Dim-
no,
Jimon.
get the fuck out of here. It's
Jimon
not dim
Hunsu.
sum.
You
Jimon
said dim
Hunsu.
sum. Okay,
Dimsum, whatever. It's the same thing.
This podcast
Dim sum.
It's okay.
It's out of control.
I think it's time to call this.
It's probably
We're going out. We're going out on dim sum.
If it's anything,
Jimon.
it's Jimon.
Game done.
Jimon.
But still not dim sum.
As the host of this, I am calling it. Thank you all for listening.
Yeah.
Again,
Thank you.
we
Thank
had
you.
John David Rivera.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you for being a part of our family, honestly, and speaking geeky with all of us.
Yes.
We have Bobby Dean Avila.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You still had an hour and a half to figure it out.
Fucking terrible.
I'm going out.
You're the worst.
Yes.
Adam Barajas.
Jimon Hunsu. That's how you say it.
And your host, Garfias. Thank you for listening.
See you guys next week.
We hope to see you next week. Thank you so much. And that was Geek Down.
Love you.
Ladies and gentlemen,